From your point of view or from your experience, what do you think we can get out of this forum, and what can we be, hoping for?
So I think with this forum in particular, it's not what can the forum do for me, it's what can I do for the forum and for the rest of my country. How do I use these days together to network, to build stronger relationships, to build new relationships? And then after the forum is over, what then? What am I committing to doing based on what I've learned and who I've met to make a positive impact, not just in Mexico, but globally.
The world.
Why not, right? So I think that to me is what's powerful. It's one thing to come together, but what's most important is what we do after.
Yeah.
So it is a great platform.
I love what you're saying about it's what we can bring to the forum, right? So not be just active listeners and like, oh, this content was great, check, I was there. But it's about creating new ideas, networking, and powering through.
I'm particularly excited about the concept of girl power. This idea that girls understanding that they can do and be anything they want. That there's also an understanding that I think a lot of girls are raised thinking we're all equal and we all have equal opportunity. What they don't realize is, at least with the large corporations we work with, about 1% of their suppliers are women in businesses. But women make the majority of the purchasing decisions at the consumer level. We're half the population. So it's just crazy that we're invisible in these global value chains, that we own very few of the world's assets. And so it's hard to build wealth and assets if you don't have it in the first place. There really aren't any limits. And you have to think that way, even though you'll come upon challenges, how do you get over them, around them, or go through them? I found that having it all is not possible at once. So as long as you can't have it all at one time, but you certainly can have it all. You just have to prioritize.
Okay.
And I've found that I love my work and I also love my family time. And so how do you integrate them as best you can? How do you expose? I have a 9-year-old daughter. How do I bring her along with me? And how do I listen to her? And what are her hopes and dreams and the challenges she's facing? And so the opportunity to learn from her, the opportunity to learn from you, the opportunity to learn from the network that you're building is exciting and inspiring for all of us. Do things that scare you, do things that are overwhelming, and then you'll end up doing things that you couldn't have imagined. Exactly. It's a good way to live life, I think. So I honestly have no idea what my daughter will become. I hope that she too will be curious, will engage in the world and ask the questions about why things are the way they are and why can't they be something else. I've tried wherever possible to bring her with me to events like at the UN or at the State Department or to different countries. She's been to many countries now. And I think for me, seeing the world and not just reading about it is very important because then you see that life in the United States isn't the same as life in other countries. Some of the good things and some of the bad things. And so you go out and you smell and feel and touch and listen and engage. And I think that just sense of exploration and wanting to leave the world a better place than when you found it. I hope that that's something that will just be a part of who she is. And that she'll learn to enjoy it, the process of learning and loving and celebrating and facing hard things and knowing that she can get through it.
Do you see, younger generations having a new mindset? Do you see them face a different world than we did when we were younger?
I think my daughter is exposed to a lot more than I was. I know she's exposed to a lot more than I was. Part of that does have to do with the internet and technology and what she's able to access, even through her school programs. Wow. People through all over the world through her school programs and virtual realities that it wasn't something that was available to us, available to me as a student. And so I think that it's an exciting, brave new world, but it can also be a bit overwhelming because they're exposed to a lot of the good and a lot of the bad of the world at a very young age. And I think that can be overwhelming in trying to make sense of it and not be overwhelmed by it. And so I think having a very close relationship that is very open, where I don't judge her for her questions, but invite her to have these, hard conversations, and also to have fun, I think is quite different. Someone taught me a good lesson about a year ago. I was traveling a lot and feeling like I wasn't spending enough time at home. And I'm sure that's true. But this person reminded me that when we were young, our mothers and fathers generally didn't play with us. They didn't hang out with us. We were all in the same house, but everyone was doing their own thing. Whereas I do find that I and my colleagues of my age, we spend, when we are home, a lot of time just hanging out with our kids, and learning and playing. And so it is the quality time that we spend together that really matters, that we're present, that we show up, that we are engaging and allow them to grow. And then, we learn and grow as a result of these great questions these kids ask.
Or what has been your recipe to, deal with it all?
Well, first and foremost, I value my time with my family. That's the most important time for me. But my work does demand a lot of my time. And I'm fortunate because I happen to love my work and it doesn't feel like work. And so for me, it's not been that work-life balance. I don't think that exists, but it has been work-life integration. So to what degree can we have celebrations in a country where we're about to do an event and my family can be there with me? So I think there's a lot of those types of opportunities. I also was very fortunate in finding a life partner who knew exactly what he was getting into, and was, willing and able to find sort of a 9-to-5 job so that when I do travel, he's able to be there, to take my daughter to school, to take our daughter to school, pick her up, make sure she's cared for. And then, of course, when he has work travel or any other projects, that I'm there to be there and to take care of our daughter. But the best of the best is when we're all together. I think what has suffered the most is my ability to spend time with friends. Because when you're done with work, you are able to go home in the evening or hang out on the weekend. You can go spend time with friends, and I think that's very important for people to do. But really what I want to do most is go hang out with my family. And so I think that part really shifted. I used to spend obviously most of my time with my friends when I wasn't working. And so the other great thing is to try to find a job where a lot of my friends are the people I work with. And so that's worked out really well too.
Like this other opportunity, is there anything at all you would do differently?
I think there are a lot of things where I question, why did I have to do it that way? Or why didn't I do it a different way? Or why couldn't I have been, gone to different schools or tried different job opportunities? I think that's a normal thing for anyone to do. But ultimately, the truth is, I am who I am today because of all those experiences. And so I don't think I would trade any of it. Even the really hard ones, I think I would have gone through because it makes you a stronger person. It's made me a stronger person.